And I want to congratulate you on small things like these, an affecting and eye-opening look about the Magdalene Laundries in Ireland. I'm still thinking about it.
Oh, wow. Oh, thanks for having me. Thanks for appreciation.
Oh, now first things first. Describe the film to our viewers in your own words, Mr. Tim.
I think it's about a coal man who got who's the father of 5 children, and he lives in Ireland in a small village in 1985. And one day when he delivers coal at the convent, he's confronted with injustice, and it's a story about what he should, how he should deal, or how his unconsciousness is coping with that injustice, and what he should do about it.
Take us from the very beginning. What got you interested in directing small things like these?
I think me and Cillian, we know each other from Peaky Blinders 3, and that went very well. And then he saw my first feature movie, Patrick, and he liked that very much. And I think, and then he said to me like, let's make a movie together. And we were looking for material, and this is all pre-Oppenheimer. And then his wife came up with the book. I still remember her waving the book in front of us, like this is, and she knows me very well. And then I read the book, and because grief is a very personal story for me, I immediately was kind of connecting with the grief process, and something that always comes back in my work, and I kind of like working around that theme together with Cillian was for me like a total no-brainer.
Thank you for mentioning Cillian. Cillian Murphy is amazing here. He carries the film from start to finish. Such a quiet, meditative performance. How did you help him find the heart of the character, Tim?
Yeah, it's a bit me. I have to say, like, what I've done is like I kind of mapped out his pain and I kind of structured grief. Of course, he did it, and I kind of like, of course, you get like the denial first, and then you get the anger, and then you go into something else, and at the end you get the acceptance, and you may come out as a stronger person, and mostly it is. And that was the kind of the structure. And then I was going back to my own memories, what I've been through, and I was kind of mapping out that pain and structuring that pain. And that was my kind of guidance to Cillian. Of course, he made it his own and did his own thing with it, but I could share how important it was and how deep it was for me. And by doing that, I was kind of inviting him to go in a similar way. It might appear as a very silent movie, but for me, it's inside, it's extremely loud.
It's not as much as the historical story surrounding the Magdalene Laundries, but more how it affects a community, a family, right? Talk to us more about that.
Yeah, I think when you face injustice, I think what this movie is about after you've seen it, as far as I'm concerned, I think this movie tries to explain a message, like if you are silent, you are complicit. And I
Yes.
think that's a message that's not only referring to the Catholic Church, but like when you face injustice in society, that will something like that will come back and back again.
Totally agree. Now, here's what I noticed. There's a lot of shots of doorways and mirrors, almost like you're inviting us to feel Bill's detachment, Cillian Murphy's character's detachment. Talk to us about your visual cues.
Oh, I tried. This was inspired by the book. I tried to be like a silent observer. You get like the same living room, camera at the same position, the same hallway, and it becomes like a very emotional place. Like hallways, we know it from. We go to weddings
Yeah.
through a hallway. We go to funerals through a hallway. We go to first school day. All these different. It's a place full of emotions, and it's always there. Same spot, same camera. But it's like that's almost like God's eye, invisible God's eye, who's there. And but sometimes the camera starts to flow and becomes kind of from a point of view, but it's kind of a spirit cam. It was more my interpretation was more like a religious approach to filming this movie.
You know what? It hits the perfect note of gloomy yet hopeful. The one and only time we see Cillian Murphy's smile near the end, we know we'll be fine. Right? Talk to us about that.
Yeah, exactly. I think the ending wasn't in the book, but we felt like we should do a scene like that, that he really grabs the girl by the hand and laughs for the first time. I think that's important, yeah.
Mr. Tim, Small Things Like These arrives in theaters on November 8th. What do you hope for viewers to get after watching the film?
I think they can take from it whatever they want to take from it. I think it's a kind of movie where you bring from it to it, you get from it. That's the kind of movie it is. But I think the idea of like, if you're silent, you are complicit. It might be one thing to think about.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. And a big congrats on Small Things Like These again. It's really simply powerful.
Thank you so much for having me. Thanks for these nice words. Nice talking to you.
Oh, nice talking to you. Good luck on everything.